students. Welcome to English literature lecture. Today we are going to begin a new poem from our textbook Beehive. On Killing a Tree, written by Jeev Patel. Let me tell you about the poet. Jeev Patel is a famous Indian poet and playwright. Patel is also a practicing doctor. He was born in Mumbai in 1940. He completed all his education from Mumbai. His first collection of poetry was entitled Poems, and it was launched by Nassim Zekil in 1966. How Do You Withstand, Body and Mirrored Mirroring are some of his famous collections. He is also an environmentalist who supports and tries to create awareness regarding protecting the nature around us. So he is also someone who loves nature. Let me tell you about this poem. A quick introduction, what this poem is all about. The poet sensitizes the reader. The poet creates an awareness among the reader and highlights the fact that trees are living things. He equates trees with humans so that to convey that trees should not be cut. He wants to create an awareness among the readers, and he wants to highlight the fact that trees are living beings, living things just like humans, and they should not be cut because destroying trees is just like killing a human being. A tree does not die by merely cutting because it regrows from where it is cut. So the poet wants to convey that a tree does not die just by cutting it. It is not so easy because it will regrow again from where it is cut. If it is to be destroyed, then it has to be uprooted. It has to be taken, it should be uprooted from the soil where its roots lie. So it's not easy to merely it's not easy to cut a tree because it can regrow. Now let me tell you the theme of this poem. The poet considers the trees as a living organism. As said in the introduction, the poet, he considers trees as living things, just like human. According to the poet, it has the right to live like any other creatures. Trees, they have the right to live. And like any other creatures on earth, even they should not be killed. But man is killing it with utmost cruelty. In spite of trees being considered as living things, still man is killing it for his own needs, and that too with utmost cruelty, without any mercy. So this poem indirectly gives out a strong idea that trees are our lifeline, so they must not be killed. This poem, it's a graphic picture of man's cruelty towards the tree, which symbolizes nature. And if we destroy nature, what will happen? Obviously, human beings will be affected. So, the poet tells the readers that trees are our lifeline and hence we must not kill them. It implies that a person shall be a murderer if he kills it this way. He says that a knife will not do harm to a tree. If the tree is killed, if the tree is being cut, it actually means murdering the tree. A person who cuts a tree will be considered as a murderer if he kills the tree, if it cuts the tree, if he cuts the tree. He says that a knife will not do any harm to a tree. The reason, the tree is firmly grounded to the soil. So the poet says that just if you use uh, a knife will not cut the tree completely. And at last the poet conveys that if the tree is killed, it must be uprooted completely. Should be uprooted completely from the soil. Only then it can be considered to be killed. So basically, the poet, what he wants to convey is the he gives us a step by step instructions on how to kill a tree. And he also makes us realize that killing a tree is almost equal to murdering a human being. It also refers to the destructive nature of humans and the indestructibility of nature. Okay, so the poem on killing a tree, it has been taken from Jeev Patel's anthology named Poems, and it's a graphic picture of man's cruelty. I hope students you understood the theme of the poem and also the introduction. So now let us begin with the poem. I'll read out the poem once for you. On killing a tree. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source, white and wet, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. So, students, I hope you were reading the poem along with me. Okay, now I'll give you explanation stanza wise. Let's understand this poem stanza wise. On killing a tree. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth. Now here, the poet tells us that it is not an easy task to kill a tree. Not a simple jab. Jab refers to a sudden rough blow. You take a knife or an axe and a sudden rough blow on something. Okay, with full force. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. So he says that a simple cut does not destroy a tree. A simple jab of the knife will not kill a tree. It takes much more time than that. It has grown slowly consuming the earth. So the poet tells us a plant, a tree grows gradually. Okay, it is rooted in the soil. Okay, its roots are firmly grounded into the soil and it has grown gradually over a period of time, consuming all the nutrients from the soil, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide sprouting leaves. So the poet says that the tree, the tree has not grown in a day. A tree grows gradually. It takes time. Also, the poet says that a plant takes nutrition. A tree takes nutrition from the soil to grow, to become a big tree. And it feeds upon whatever nutrients it gets from the soil, from the earth crust. And it's not just the nutrients that helps it to grow. The tree takes in sunlight, water, and air, all from the nature, to grow into a strong trunk and have numerous leaves on it. Okay, so the leaves they come or they come out or they grow from leprous hide, the discolored bark. Okay, from there the branches they come out and then the leaves on it. So this way it's a process. It doesn't grow in a single day. I hope students you are having a paper and a pen with you so that you write down the difficult words that you come across. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal. So the poet says that humans, they cut and chop the bark of trees. Why do humans cut the trees? For their personal gains. Okay, for building houses, for making furnitures, for various purpose. So they hack and chop. Hack refers to cutting roughly by striking heavy blows, using an axe and cutting the trees in a very rough manner by striking heavy blows. Okay, so cutting it in a very rough manner. So the poet says that humans they cut and chop the bark of trees into many pieces. Okay, but still this is not sufficient to destroy the tree. Okay, you just hack and chop, you cut the tree, that itself will not kill the tree. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal. So the poet says that when you try to hack and chop the tree will suffer tremendous pain. Okay, and it will also release a sap. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal. So what he says, the point of the tree which gets cut gives sap. Okay, just like a human being bleeds when a human being is hurt. What happens at that time? He starts bleeding. Similarly, when the humans they hack and chop the tree will bleed in the form of sap coming out of it, coming out of the bark. And from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. Miniature boughs refers to the new branches that sprout, that come up from where the tree was cut, from the place where the tree was cut. From there, these new branches sprout. So the poet says that though humans cut and chop the bark of trees into many pieces, but that is not sufficient, that is not enough to destroy the tree. So what the poet says is, when you just cut the tree, it will only give out sap, just like how humans bleed, okay, when they get hurt. Gradually, this would heal over a period of time. And then what will happen? From that place, from where it was cut, new branches start growing again. Okay, miniature boughs will start coming up again. They will again, the tree will expand and it will regain its former size. So today we are going to stop here. We will continue our poem in the coming lecture. So students, please click on the home assignment link and complete the same. Thank you so much.